Hey guys, my name is Shripad and today we'll be learning how to solve the Rubik's Cube. So there's many stereotypes saying solving Rubik's Cube is very difficult and so on. We're here to break those stereotypes today. So let's get right into it. The first thing you need to know when you're learning how to solve a Rubik's Cube is the type of pieces on a Rubik's Cube. So we have three different types of pieces on a Rubik's Cube. The first piece, the centerpiece, the second piece, the edge piece, and the third piece, the corner piece. How you differentiate these pieces is by the number of colors on these pieces. So the centerpiece has only one color, the edge piece has two colors, and the corner has three. One more thing you need to know is that an edge can replace only another edge and a corner another corner. You cannot replace a corner by an edge or an edge by a corner. So the next thing we need to know is that the color of the entire side of a Rubik's Cube is determined by the color of the center. So if this is the white center, the whole side is white in color. If this is the orange center, the whole side is orange. The yellow, the entire side is yellow, and so on. After this, we need to know the different types of colors on a Rubik's Cube. So there's 6 different colors on a Rubik's Cube. If I'm holding white facing me and red on bottom, we should know that yellow is at the back, orange is on top, blue is at right, and green is on the left. So this is the color scheme on my Rubik's Cube. Color schemes can vary, but most Rubik's Cubes that are mass produced these days, come with these colors. After this, we need to know the notations on a Rubik's Cube. So the notations are the wide variety of turns that you can do on a Rubik's Cube. So the first turn one would always go for is the right turn. The right turn is for the right side of the cube, the up turn is for the upper part of the cube, the left side turn is the left, the down is the down, front is front, and back is back. So it's a hassle saying right, up, front, down, left, back all the time. So we shorten it by saying R for right, U for up, L for left, F for front, D for down, and B for back. So a regular R turn or an F turn or a U turn is a clockwise turn. So any clockwise turn is a regular turn. A clockwise turn is a front or an F. A right clockwise turn is R. An up clockwise turn is a U. Any counterclockwise turn or anti-clockwise turn is a prime turn. So R prime would be like this, anti-clockwise. And a front anti-clockwise turn would be like this, anti-clockwise. U counterclockwise, U prime, F prime, R prime, L prime, D prime, and B prime, and so on. So these are the different turns or notations of a Rubik's Cube. So these are most important when you're learning algorithms or getting better at a Rubik's Cube, while getting better at a Rubik's Cube. So after notations, one thing we need to know is another type of thing for turns, which is the twice turn or a double turn. So I taught you guys the right or R turn and the R prime or the right counterclockwise turn. Another thing you need to know is the side can turn twice and you call it an R2 or a U2 or an F2 and so on. After this, I'm going to teach you guys a small algorithm. Let's call it the fun algorithms for now. So this algorithm is very simple and it goes as such. R, U, R prime, U prime. Let's do it once more. R, U, R prime, U prime. R, U, R prime, U prime. So once you get better or once you're at a level which is fast enough, you can execute the algorithm somewhat like this. So this algorithm can be repeated 6 times and the Rubik's Cube will be back to normal as it was before you started this algorithm. That is the magic of this fun algorithm. So it's R, U, R prime, U prime. After this algorithm, I'm going to teach you one more simple algorithm. This algorithm, let's call it the hammer algorithm. So this algorithm goes as such. R prime, F, R, F prime. Let's do it once more. R prime, F, R, F prime. R prime, F, R, F prime. So these two algorithms are the fun algorithm and the hammer algorithm. The fun and the hammer. So these two will play an important role when we're doing the further steps on the Rubik's Cube. So without any further ado, let's jump right in to solving the Rubik's Cube after these few basics that we've just learned. So here we are with the first step on how to solve a Rubik's Cube. So the first step is solving a cross. So a cross on a Rubik's Cube would look something like this, where there's 4 edges involved along with 1 center, and these edges are corresponding to the centers on the other sides as well. So we formed a white cross over here, with the white blue corresponding to the blue center, the white orange with the orange, the white green with the green, and the white red with the red. So this is how a basic cross should look like. This is the first step in solving Rubik's Cube. Once you get into advanced solving of Rubik's Cube, it would be pretty much intuitive and you'll be able to solve it much quicker. But now we're going to learn a basic method of solving the Rubik's Cube cross. So here we are with the cube, and we're going to look for 4 edges along with 1 center. So I'm going to choose the white color because I'm more used to using the white color for solving my crosses, but you can choose anything you like, any color of your choice. So we're going with the white center, and we need 4 white edges. We're going to search for these 4 pieces. So there's 1 piece here, 1 piece here, 1 piece here, and another piece right here. So what we're going to do is hold the white color on bottom, and we're going to make these white edges all come to the top layer. So I see this white orange piece, and I'm going to bring it to the top layer like this with a simple R move. I'm going to search for the rest of the 3 pieces. So I see another piece right here. So I see an empty slot here next to this white orange piece, and I'm going to bring this to the top layer with the 2 move or an R2 move. So I'm going to search for the other 2 pieces. I see another piece here. I'm going to try bring this to the top layer with another R2 move. But this does not do so. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make an R prime move, and I'm going to bring this to the empty slot next to this. And finally, for the final piece, which is right here, if I bring it to the top over here, then this piece which I brought into the top layer would get disturbed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring an empty slot right above this piece by making a U2 turn. And now I'm going to bring this to the top layer. But this piece does not face up. The white color does not face up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make another R inverse turn, make an empty slot on top, and make an F inverse turn or an F prime turn. So this brings all white edges facing top. So now I'm gonna match the green edges with the green, the red with the red, the blue with the blue, and the orange with the orange, because these are the colors next to the white pieces, right? Because yellow is always opposite white. That's the first thing we learned. So I'm going to match green with green and bring it to the bottom layer. Red with red, bring it to the bottom layer. Blue with blue, bring it to the bottom layer. And finally, orange with orange, which I'm going to do with a 2 turn and bring it to the bottom layer. And now we're done with the cross. So the second step after solving the cross on a Rubik's Cube is solving the first layer. So according to many people, or so-called cubers, they say they can finish 5 sides on a Rubik's Cube, but that is a lie. You can only finish a Rubik's Cube by layers, by 1 layer, 2 layer, and then the 3rd layer, or you can do it as 2 layers in the 3rd layer according to an advanced method. So we're learning the beginner's method, and we're going to go layer by layer. So the next step in solving the Rubik's Cube is solving the first layer. After doing the cross, which is the first step, now we're going to do the corners. So there's 4 corners next to the 4 edges that have been solved for the Rubik's Cube cross. Now we're going to search for the 4 corners. The first corner is here, the second corner is here, the third corner is here, and the fourth corner is here. So we're going to go back to the beginning of this video where I taught you that one algorithm, the R prime U prime algorithm. So that is the basic algorithm that we're going to use to set the corners into place. So what we're going to do is bring the corner where it has to go right above its slot. So this is the white, red, and green side, because the center determines the whole color of the side, right? So the white, red, and green. We're going to search for it, and it's right above its slot. Lucky for us. So we're going to do the algorithm and see how many turns it takes for us to get this piece into its slot. So the algorithm was R prime, U prime. So it just took us 1 move of this algorithm to get it into place. Lucky for us. So we're going to search for the other 3 pieces. So I see this white, green, and orange piece, and that has to go to the white, green, and orange slot. And that slot is right here because white, green, orange. Again, the center determines the color of the whole side. So we're going to search for that piece, and it's right here in the top layer. So we're going to bring that piece we're going to bring that piece right above where it has to go, or above its slot. So we're going to use the same algorithm and see how many times it takes us to get that piece into its slot. So the algorithm goes R, U, R prime, U prime. It's into position, but it's flipped. So we're going to do the algorithm a few more times to see if we can get it into its right position. So R, U, R prime, U prime. It's still not into position. So let's do it once more. R, U, R prime, U prime. And now it's in position. So we're going to go for the next piece, which is this one, the white, orange, and blue. Again, this piece is in its position, but it's flipped because orange should face orange, blue should face blue, and white should face white. But that's not the case. So let's do the same algorithm a few more times, and let's see how many times it takes us for it to get into its position. So R, U, R prime, U prime. R, U, R prime, U prime. And now it's in this position. So we've done 3 corners now, and there's only 1 corner left. And let's search for that. It's in the top layer, and it's over here. But that's not where it has to go above, right? So we bring it above its slot, which is right over here. The white, red, and blue. White, red, and blue. And we do the same algorithm and see how many turns it takes us for it to get into its position. R, U, R prime, U prime. R, U, R prime, U prime. R, U, R prime, U prime. And that's how we do the first layer of the Rubik's Cube. The basic algorithm here is the R, U, R prime, U prime algorithm that we learned at the beginning of this video. So that was basically how we do the first layer of the Rubik's Cube. So sometimes you might face certain difficulties as a beginner when you see one piece in position but not in its right position. So what you need to do is bring this piece out of its position with the same algorithm by doing it once. R, U, R prime, U prime. Now it's in the top layer and as a free piece. So we bring it above its position where it has to go, right here, and do the same algorithm a few more times to see how many turns it takes us for us to get in here. So R, U, R prime, U prime. R, U, R prime, U prime. R, U, R prime, U prime. And now it's into its position. And finally this piece, which has to go right over here. So that's it. We're done with the first layer. And those might have been some difficulties you might have faced as a beginner while doing your first layer. So jumping right in after your first layer is solving the second layer of the Rubik's Cube. So solving the second layer again involves only 4 pieces, but this time instead of 4 corners, it involves 4 edges because there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 edges involved in solving the second layer because the first layer has been solved. And the second layer comprises of the centers and the edges. Again, as I told you before, the center cannot be replaced by another center, but can only be replaced by it if you do a move like this. And the center also determines the color of the entire side. So jumping right into the second layer, we're going to search for those 4 edges. So right here is the orange edge along with the blue edge. So we're going to search for the orange and blue piece. Let's search for that. And we find it right here. So this orange and blue piece has to go here. One thing we need to remember while doing the second layer is this piece, the color of this piece needs to match with the color of the center. So the blue and orange needs to match. The blue needs to match with the blue. If the orange were facing this side, we'd have it here so that the orange faced the orange. So here we need to have the blue matching with the blue. So here we do a simple algorithm or a formula, as many people may call it, in order to get this piece right into here. The algorithm goes as such: R prime, U prime, R prime, U prime, R prime, U, R, U, R. So that gets this piece into its position. We're going to look for the 3 other edges and see if we can get the same algorithm or if we might need a different algorithm for getting the edges into its position. So right here is the next edge that we're going to search for, the orange and green edge. So the orange and green edge we're going to search for is right here. So what we're going to do is match the color of the edge with the color of the center. So we're going to do a few turns. Is it matching? No. We're going to do one more turn. Is it matching? Yes. So what we're going to do is try to bring this piece over here. So the last time the piece had to go right here in front, but this time when it's matching, the piece has to go in the back. So what we're going to do is a different algorithm. We're going to do R, U, R, U, R. U prime, R prime, U prime, R prime. And now it's into its position. Now we're going to search for the third piece or the third edge which we need to complete the second layer. So now we're going to search for it, which is the red and green piece, which is right here. So we're going to match it with the center piece. And this has to go on the right hand side to the back. So what we're going to do is the same algorithm we just did, which is R, U, R, U, R. U prime, R prime, U prime, R prime. And now it's into its position. And finally, we have one more edge piece left for completing the second layer, which is the blue and red piece. We're going to search for it and we find it right here. Again, we're going to match it with the red, we're going to match it with the blue center, and we're going to get it into its position. For getting into its position, we're going to put it on the right side and see whether it has to go in the front or in the back. We see it has to go in the back, so we do the same algorithm we just did, which is R, U, R, U, R, U prime, R prime, U prime, R prime. And we're done with the 2 layers. And that's how you do 2 layers of the Rubik's Cube. So now, after we're done with 2 layers of the Rubik's Cube, we're going to learn how to solve the last layer of the Rubik's Cube. So the third layer or the final layer of the Rubik's Cube. So once we're done with 2 layers, we might encounter one of 3 cases. So we might encounter an L-shaped case like this, a bar-shaped case like this, or a dot-shaped case like this. So for this part or this step of the Rubik's Cube, it's called orientation of the last layer, or OLL. So for OLL, I'm going to teach you one simple algorithm, which is a combination of basically something we've already learned. So in the case of an L, we're going to have the L facing us this way. The L should be like this. And the algorithm goes F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime. And we end up with a simple bar. And now these 2 cases are similar because we see 2 bars. So when we get a bar, what we do is we have the bar face us this way. So we do the same algorithm, F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime. And once we're done with that, we get a cross on top. Same thing here, again, the same bar. The bar should face us this way. And we do F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime. Again, we get a cross on top. In the case of a dot, what we do is we just hold the dot any which way you want it. And we do F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime. And once we do this, we get an L. Again, we hold the L in such a way that it faces us like this. And we do F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime. We get a bar, and the bar should face us this way. And we do F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime. So this is the first step in doing your last layer, where we get a cross on top, as we see in all these 3 cubes. Following this, what we're going to do is get all these yellow colored corner pieces facing upwards, or we're going to do the yellow colored side first. So this is where you solve a side, and not when your non-cuber friends say they can solve 5 sides in a Rubik's Cube. Now that is just bogus. So here we're going to do the yellow color first. So I'm going to teach you another algorithm, and this algorithm is called the Soon. And the algorithm goes R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. Doing it again, R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. Let's do it once more. R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. So that is the Soon algorithm. And this algorithm is what we're going to use to do the complete last color or orientation of the last layer. So I'm going to take this case, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it this way, and I'm going to do R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. What we have to remember is when there's one color solved on top, we hold it on the top left. And when the other 3 pieces are this way, we do the same algorithm, R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. And we're done with the top color. In the case of this, when we have 2 edges solved, in the case of this, when we have 2 corners solved, and we're doing the other 2 corners, what we do is we have these 2 solved corners on top like this. R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. And in this case, what we do is when there's 4 corners to be solved, any corner has to face towards your left. And we do R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. And again, as I told you, when there's one which is solved, it has to be on the top left. and R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. And we do the top color, similar to this. And now in this case, as I told you, a corner should face towards your left. A single corner with the yellow piece should face towards your left. And we do R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. Again, when there's one solved corner, it should be towards your top left. And we do R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. And we're done with the top color. So after we're done with the top color, what we're going to do is permutate the rest of the pieces into their positions. This step is called PLL, or permutation of the last layer. So as an advanced solver, I can tell you there's around 21 algorithms for doing this, but I'm going to teach you the most simple way of doing this with 2 simple algorithms. So the first algorithm is also called the T-perm. The T-perm goes something like this. R, U, R prime, U prime. R prime, F, R2, U prime, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, F prime. So this might be a little difficult to follow for you initially, but as you keep drilling it, it gets into your mind. So let's do it once more. R, U, R prime, U prime, R prime, F, R2, U prime, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, F prime. So after learning this algorithm, I'm going to teach you in which way you have to hold the cube in order to do this algorithm to get to the next step. So what we're going to do is we're going to mess around with the cube and see if there's 2 adjacent corners or 2 corners next to each other which are of the same color. So there's none here, but we have these 2 here. So what we're going to do is match these 2 with the color where they're supposed to be in. So these 2 are green. So these go with the green center, which is on this side. And these 2 solved corners should be towards your left. And once they're to your left, we do the same algorithm we just learned, which is the T-perm. R, U, R prime, U prime, R prime, F, R2, U prime, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, F prime. And with that, we've done all the corner pieces. So now we're done with the permutation of the last few corners where we see green is with green, red is with red, blue is with blue, and orange is with orange. But as we can see, the edges have not been oriented properly along with their centerpieces. So before we do the permutation of these last few edge pieces, I'm going to teach you 2 different cases where you might encounter a few difficulties in executing the T-perm. This is the first of the 2 cases where you see no 2 adjacent solved corners. So here we have all opposites where red and orange are together and blue and green are together. In such a case, what we do is we search for one solved corner, which is where we have one edge with another corner and another edge with another corner, which is solved. So the green with green and the red with red. And we have this towards our top left. And what we do once we have this in position is the same algorithm, the T-perm. R, U, R prime, U prime, R prime, F, R2, U prime, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, F prime. And after this, what we do is we look for 2 corner pieces which are adjacent to each other and are solved, and we orient them with their respective centerpiece. So I'm going to mess around with the top layer to see if there are any 2 corner pieces which are solved. Not here, not here. Yes, these 2 are together. So what I'm going to do is match them with the blue centerpiece. So I know that green is opposite blue, so I'm going to do a U2 turn. I'm going to rotate the cube twice. So here I see the blue is with blue. So following this, we're going to go back to the first step in permutation of last layer, where we're going to hold this blue side towards our left and do the T-perm once again. R, U, R prime, U prime, R prime, F, R2, U prime, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, F prime. Again, we've solved all the corners and only the permutation of the last few edge pieces remains. That was the first difficult case one might encounter while doing the last layer. So here's the second and the other different case, or the other difficult case that I just told you about. So this is the case again where we have opposite corners adjacent to each other. So in this case, what one might do is hold it in any way they want to and do the T-perm. R, U, R prime, U prime, R prime, F, R2, U prime, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, F prime. After this, we again look for two corner pieces which are adjacent to each other, and we orient it with the respective center. So again, not these two, not these two, not these two, but these two are together. So we orient it with the orange centerpiece. So I'm going to do U-turn, and now it's oriented. Again, hold it towards your left and do the T-perm. R, U, R prime, U prime, R prime, F, R2, U prime, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, F prime. Again, all the corners have been solved and only the permutation of the edge pieces remains. So this now brings us to the final step of solving the Rubik's Cube. Congratulations on making it this far. So now I'm going to teach you one more simple algorithm. This is called the U-perm. The U-perm counterclockwise. So this is a very simple algorithm and it goes R, U prime, R, U, R, U, R, U prime, R prime, U prime, R2. Again, like the T-perm, it might take time for this to grow on you, but believe me, once it does, you'll get much better at executing it without looking at it again. So how you execute this algorithm is, so once you look around the cube, you'll see there's at least one edge piece which has been solved. You orient that along with its centerpiece and hold it at the back. After that, there's three remaining edge pieces that have to be rotated on the top layer. So I see that there's this piece, and this piece. I notice that this is the red piece, and I know for a fact that the red is right next to the blue. So this has to go this way, and this has to go this way, and this way. So that means it goes in a counterclockwise direction. And what we're going to do is hold the solved piece towards our back and the unsolved pieces facing us this way. So we're going to do the same algorithm I just taught you, which is the counterclockwise U-perm, which goes R, U prime, R, U, R, U, R, U prime, R prime, U prime, R2. And we're done. Let's do that once more. So in this case, we have one solid edge piece, which is at the back. The remaining edge pieces have to be rotated in a clockwise direction. So what we're going to do is do the same algorithm once, and let's see how it makes the pieces move. The same algorithm goes R, U prime, R, U, R, U, R, U prime, R prime, U prime, R2. So now it has made the pieces move in such a way that they now have to be moved in the anti-clockwise direction. So therefore, we do the same algorithm once more and we'll have a solved Rubik's Cube. So it goes R, U prime, R, U, R, U, R, U prime, R prime, U prime, R2. And that's it, we've solved the Rubik's Cube. So there's one more case which you might encounter while solving the Rubik's Cube, where you have all four edges solved. So in this case, what you do is hold it in any way you like and do the same algorithm we just learned, which is R, U prime, R, U, R, U, R, U prime, R prime, U prime, R2. Once we're done with that, we'll see that there's three edge pieces which have to be moved in a counterclockwise direction, and there's one edge piece which is solved. So again, what we do is orient it with its center, hold it at the back, and do the same algorithm. R, U prime, R, U, R, U, R, U prime, R prime, U prime, R2. And we're done with the cube. So there's one more case one person might encounter while solving the Rubik's Cube that I have not shown you. So that case, it looks similar, something like this. So what we'll have in this case is two edges have to be moved adjacent to each other. In such a case, what we would do is do the same algorithm in such a way where this piece would have to go towards its right. So the algorithm goes R, U prime, R, U, R, U, R, U prime, R prime, U prime, R2. And now, again, we have one solid edge and three edges which have to move anti-clockwise. So again, solid edge towards the back and the other three edges facing you this way. And the algorithm goes R, U prime, R, U, R, U, R, U prime, R prime, U prime, R2. And that's it. We're done with learning how to solve the Rubik's Cube. Congratulations on making it this far and learning how to solve the Rubik's Cube. You can go flex on your friends now. Also, please like, share and subscribe and press the bell icon for more such great content in the future.